This is about what they heard. They said they heard an argument just before the shooting. When you heard the argument, was it a long argument? Was it just short? Did it seem like they knew each other?
It was static. And his friend was like, he not even a part of this. He not a part of this.
And boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
No, just as crazy as it was for you to watch that, it was crazy for me too. But let's dive in. Apparently, Ceddy Nash was a on-the-scene witness in a murder case that happened in 2012. We're going to talk about what information he may or may not have divulged and how that affected the case. November 7, 2012, there was a shooting incident outside the Monte Carlo Club in Midtown, Sacramento. Neighbors heard shots, and when they came outside, they saw somebody laying dead on the sidewalk. One witness, Cedric Adams, said, "This is a situation where I parked and heard it, and somebody else was running one way and another person falling on the ground and he was dead." Now, it wouldn't take the police long to make an arrest, but that was also a result of witnesses on the scene cooperating. A 35-year-old Sacramento man will be arrested that same night and charged in connection with the shooting incident that left one man dead. According to police, a patrol officer just happened to be in the area at the time of the shooting and heard the shots. When he arrived at the scene, a witness described a suspicious vehicle that had just left. After being arrested, the defendant in that case would admit to the shooting, but he would claim that he acted in self-defense. Neither the establishment where the incident occurred or any of the surrounding establishments would capture the shooting itself on video. And other than the defendant, no witness testified to actually seeing the shooting or seeing the victim with a gun. According to the defendant, the victim arrived at the bar in a car with two men. They stopped to use the restroom. Defendant saw them approach the bar entrance. He stood with his side to them, his cell phone in one hand and holding his gun on his other side. As Nunez approached, the defendant fired 3 gunshots at Nunez from a distance of about 16 feet. 2 bullets striking the victim, one in his chest and one in his back. Nunez died on the scene. No gun was found on or near him. One of his companions removed a cell phone but could not say why, and neither companion saw him with a gun. The defendant would say that it wasn't a cell phone that the companions removed and that it was actually a firearm. Now that we got the facts out of the way, let's get to this. Me personally, I feel like you have absolutely no business being a witness to a crime, not to mention a murder. As a self-proclaimed member, I don't understand why you, knowing that something like that happened, wouldn't flee the scene. Whether you did it or didn't do it, nobody is really sticking around to talk to the police and talk to the news and do all this stuff on camera. What I do know is that if an incident happens and the police arrive on the scene and you got people out there saying the car went this way and this is what I heard, this is what I saw, that's snitching. Just because you don't show up in the court transcripts or just because you're not in the police report or in the trial actually testifying doesn't mean that you did not cooperate and help the police solve the case. If you told them which way the guy went and they went that way and end up catching him, you snitched. This dude is trying to argue self-defense. Then you giving a statement saying that you heard people arguing and that you heard people saying he had nothing to do with it, he had nothing to do with it, then that's kind of giving circumstantial evidence to demonstrate that it wasn't a real life self-defense situation where he had to shoot to kill immediately out of fear. And it also demonstrates that there were other people around who were trying to defuse the situation and give the defendant information to let him know that it wasn't the type of situation that he thought it was. All of that contradicts his claims.
They said they heard an argument just before the shooting. When you heard the argument, was it a long argument? Was it just short? Did it seem like they knew each other?
It was static. And his friend was like, he not even a part of this. He not a part of this.
And then boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.